Yes, 1 2 1 2, check 1 2. 1 2 1 2, check 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2, yes, yes.
And again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our America's Men's Netball Championships being held here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis over September 12th to 18th. We're here at the Palm Tyson Netball Complex, seeing or witnessing our second day of play here at this stadium. And our game, Trinidad and Tobago versus USA. Current scores standing at the end of the second quarter. Trinidad and Tobago 6 goals with USA 45 goals. Quite a dominant performance by the USA team thus far. An opportunity for Trinidad and Tobago, who has had some good showing in the first day yesterday, to improve on their play. And just to give you a bit more of information about this tournament, it is the second biannual America's Netball Men's Championship. The first staging was held in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 2022. And we are now here in St. Kitts and Nevis in 2024 as a qualifier for the 2026 Central America and Caribbean Games to be held in the Dominican Republic. The top 5 teams, of course, will move forward to compete in that tournament. And in this tournament, we have the following teams who are competing for the championship: Antigua and Barbuda, England, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, the United States of America, and host country, St. Kitts and Nevis. I am Gloria Esdale Robinson, and I'll be with you, taking you through the next 2 quarters of this encounter with Trinidad and Tobago versus the United States of America. And I'm joined by none other than Mr. Biff Mills. How are you, sir? Good evening.
Good evening, Gloria. I'm blessed, highly favored, and giving thanks. What about you?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much. So I'm just giving a bit more information to our audience on the tournament. Of course, this competition would not have been possible without the kind sponsorship of First Federal Cooperative Credit Union, the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank Limited, Islander Water Sports, Cash Cab, the Ministry of Sports St. Kitts, the Ministry of Sports Nevis, Island Purified Water, COSCAB, the Bank of Nevis, Bonnie, the Bank of Nevis International, Amory Bakery, and Inter-Caribbean Airlines. Mr. Mills, you've gone over to Nevis. How were the games over on Nevis yesterday?
They were very interesting indeed, Gloria. And we saw some very good netball. I came to the conclusion that quite a few of these netballers actually play basketball.
Yes.
The dexterity, the athleticism, jumping, and some basketball moves. I was pretty much impressed to see one of the, whichever team, holding a teammate and
launching him in the air.
Exactly, to block a shot. I don't know if it's the case where our females here are not that strong so they won't be able to do something like that. But that was commonplace, basically. Mm-hmm. And I can understand that. Okay. And England, they seem a very, very dominant team, notwithstanding they would have lost to Jamaica the night before. I saw Jamaica versus Grenada, and it was an extremely physical game. Some players had to be taking the benches
for the suspension.
Yes, the 2-minute suspension.
Okay.
On about 3 occasions, I think it was. But nonetheless, the crowd very active. And there was a time the USA, they came up against England, and posters were wondering if the USA would have reached double figures at all.
Oh my.
And they were completely blown away by the English.
And it just goes to show you the standard of play. And it being, I would dare say, a new introduction in terms of the netball, which has traditionally been a female sport, to have males playing it, notwithstanding we would have practiced with males as we were growing up, just as, defensive players or just helping us to increase our accuracy in terms of our shoots. I was a shooter myself, but to have a full-blown tournament being staged for men, I think it's commendable.
Of course, it's generated a lot of interest. I won't go into the details of the discussions and conversation.
I can understand the context. I can understand the context for sure. But we are being asked now to take a break so that we can highlight our sponsors, and then when we return, we'll bring you back the third quarter of the encounter, Trinidad and Tobago versus off of Trinidad and Tobago. Biff?
Compared to the games last night, the intensity here is much lower. It was woof, 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 especially with the English. The later somewhat settled when they were in complete control. And even the US, they were playing at a much higher pace.
Yes, so the USA converts that center pass. Center pass now to Trinidad and Tobago. Quick pass and interception by the center for the USA. And they seem to be working it down into the center third. And another turnover by USA. Intercepted there by Trinidad and Tobago. Umpire's call. We must always adhere to the umpire's instructions. Into goal attack. And Trinidad and Tobago converts. The score now, 7 goals to Trinidad and Tobago to USA 46. Center pass for USA off to the goal defense. Obstruction called on the part of the goal attack. Now into the shooting third for the USA. A loose ball picked up there by the wing attack, but was thrown out of bounds. So we're now awaiting the start of play again as the ball traveled quite away from the court. Biff, it's interesting. We are seeing very mature men on the field of play tonight. The USA team in particular, who has a dominant lead over the much younger looking, more youthful looking Trinidad and Tobago team.
Normally when the females are playing, quite a lot of males are in the spectators looking on. I am not so certain that is quite the case. You would expect a lot of females to be here looking on and cheering on, but we're not seeing much of that. And this is the crowd last night in Nevis. It was really a tremendous crowd. And 2 things would have happened. 2 games, the second and third game should have been played simultaneously. However, that was not the case. After game 2 was completed, then game 3 would have started. And then there was a delay because of rain for quite a long time in game 2.
Oh, I see. But we have fair weather here at the Pam Tyson Netball Complex, and in possession of the ball is the USA. An infringement was called there, so it would be a shooting opportunity for USA's goal shooter. And we'll see what he does with this opportunity. Another obstruction call by the goal defense for Trinidad and Tobago. Goalkeeper and goal defense now must stand aside as the goal shooter attempts and converts. The score now for USA would be 47 and Trinidad and Tobago 7. Quick play, quick pass down into the shooting circle for Trinidad and Tobago. The goal shoot attempts, obstruction called there on the goalkeeper for the USA, and the goal shooter converts. You were talking about the pace of the game earlier, but it seems as though it's picking up quite a bit here in the third quarter, and persons are recognizing the urgency of moving the ball into their shooting third so that they can capitalize on those opportunities to score baskets.
Indeed, and in terms of the passes, we're seeing some unforced errors.
Yes.
And what we saw in Nevis, you gave me the ball and I said, thank you very much, I don't need it, and I gave it back to you. And that was happening quite often. And we're not seeing as much so far. We're into the third quarter. But what I'm impressed with, especially the US team, the jumping ability. They're jumping, they're stretching, they're reaching.
And they're in possession now into the center third. Time call against the USA goal attack. Or was it an obstruction call? We're waiting for the decision from the umpire. Okay, so it's a free pass to the USA. And it was intercepted by the center for Trinidad and Tobago, and unfortunately they've lost it out of bounds. Time has been called by the umpire. Resumption of play. Out of court, throw into the USA. Wing attack intercepts into their goal attack. Contact there on the goalkeeper for USA in the shooting circle for Trinidad and Tobago. Goal shooter has possession of the ball. Let's see what happens. Passes to goal attack, and goal attack converts. So the score now would be 8 in favor of Trinidad and Tobago, and they have another opportunity to make it 9. 9 goals now to Trinidad and Tobago, to United States of America's 48. Center pass for USA, center to goal attack to wing defense to goal attack, passing it quickly down into the shooting third. An overpass, but a contact is called against the goal shooter for the USA. Goalkeeper now for Trinidad and Tobago has a free pass to be able to move the ball down the court into the center court now, into the wing attack to goal shooter for Trinidad and Tobago. Goal shooter sets, but the ball is blocked by the goalkeeper. A little tussle between the wing defense and wing attack of the USA. A little unforced error there. Goal shooter for Trinidad and Tobago converts. And another score for Trinidad and Tobago, taking them to 10 goals. Center pass for Trinidad and Tobago to goal attack to wing attack to goal shoot attempts, and obstruction is called by the goal defense of the United States of America. Goal shooter has another opportunity to score and does convert, taking them to 11 points. Trinidad and Tobago seems to be on the move. They're sensing the urgency of picking up their game, increasing their accuracy in terms of their passes, but unfortunately they just lost a free pass there. Perhaps I spoke too soon.
That's one of the unforced errors I've been speaking about.
Yes. Free pass for USA on the outside. Bounce pass into the goal attack, but intercepted again by the Trinidad and Tobago defense. Goal defense to wing defense to goal attack. Into goal shoot settles. Time held ball called there against the goal shoot for Trinidad and Tobago. And USA is on the move in the center third. Umpire has the call. At intervals, it seemed as though we're a little bungling, mingling, touching. It's quite a contact sport, even though netball generally is not much of a contact sport.
I did say in the game Jamaica versus Grenada, it was a physical game.
Yes.
And there was indeed a lot of actual contact, the hustling and the bustling. And I think the ladies do much better in avoiding the contact.
Yes, because we don't want people to touch us. At the end of the day, it's just about the ball. Give me the ball. Let me do what I need to do with the ball. But America couldn't convert on their center pass possession, and it's now in the shooting third for Trinidad, and the goalkeeper goal attack. Converts the score. Score now is 12 for. Okay, I'm sorry. The correction here with the scores. What we are seeing is that
England 53,
Trinidad and Tobago has 51 points and the United States has 8 points. So we have to get that verified because what we've been seeing so far has been something different on the score sheet. So we're going to get that verified in terms of the scores. Trinidad and Tobago 51, USA 8 points.
And at the end of the third quarter, in the game England versus Antigua and Barbuda, England continuing their dominance. They are scoring 53 versus Antigua and Barbuda's 18 at the end of the third quarter. And what we can tell you, Gloria, in the first game, St. Kitts and Nevis defeated Antigua and Barbuda 41-27. And this I found interesting. England went down to Jamaica, a very low scoring game, 30-27. Jamaica 30, England 27. Trinidad and Tobago, they topped St. Vincent and the Grenadines 55-37. That's in night one on Thursday the 12th. Yesterday in Nevis, game one, Jamaica 56, Grenada 20. Game two, St. Kitts and Nevis went down to St. Vincent and the Grenadines 29-50. And England completely demolished the USA 77-11. And they are continuing that dominance 53-18 over Antigua and Barbuda. As we see the USA bouncing back 51-8 against Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, we seem to have a mix-up in the scores, and we're going to have to get it verified from the desk, because what we're seeing down on the scoreboard is saying 55 in favor of Trinidad and Tobago and 8 in favor of USA. But when we started earlier, the scores were reversed. So we're going to get it verified, audience. In the shooting circle, Trinidad just scored another goal. 54 now for Trinidad and Tobago. Goal shooter has the ball, seeking to attempt, passes to goal attack. And goal attack converts for Trinidad and Tobago.
They are now advancing to 10, Trinidad and Tobago. And that one plucked out easily out of the air by Trinidad and Tobago. And they attack a nice basketball move by the goal attack.
An obstruction call there against the goal defense. Goal attack attempts and converts.
That's 3 unanswered goals for Trinidad and Tobago. They are now 11 with a chance to make it 12. And the goal attack, he does in fact make it 12. So we are going to confirm the scores, but whether it's 55-12 or 51-12, we know that the USA, they are large and in charge in this game here at the Pam Tyson Netball Complex in the America's Men's Netball Championship, the second edition. First edition was held in St. Vincent and the Grenadines 2 years ago. It's a biennial competition, and that was won by Jamaica. South Africa, they were the invited team then. England, they are the invited team here, and 5 spots are up. And here is that one going from the goal defense to goal attack. Intercepted, stolen by the USA. Long looping pass. They're going to their right, and it's looking for options, the USA. He goes, finds his goal shoots, who sinks it. This is the first point in a long time for them. And the USA forcing that one through to the goal shoot. And it's going to be contact, is it? Yes, it is. And the ball goes into the goal shooter steps and he sinks for Trinidad and Tobago. They are now 13. And we are confirming this score 58-9. And it's Trinidad and Tobago. They are on the attack again, moving it ball. The wing attack finds the goal shooter, goes up basketball style, easy layup. I thought he was going to dunk that one actually. And it's Trinidad and Tobago with their center pass into the goal shoot looking for options. He goes way left, wing attack trying to bounce it into the goal attack, and there's some obstruction. And it's a penalty pass or shot. And easily made by the goal attack for Trinidad and Tobago. And that seems to be the end of the third quarter. We will confirm the score.
Ladies and gentlemen, and court 2, that's the end of the third quarter. We're Trinidad Tobago 60, USA 9.
And just to remind you, you're looking at live streaming of the America's Men's Netball Championship coming to you from Warner Park here in the beautiful island of St. Kitts. Games being played tonight in St. Kitts, and alternately, they are played in our sister isle of Nevis. And there are 2 games going on at the moment, USA versus Trinidad and Tobago, and England versus Antigua and Barbuda. Fourth quarter, just about to start. England versus Antigua and Barbuda. England up, larger in charge, 53 versus Antigua and Barbuda's 18. And we have confirmed that the score in the USA Trinidad and Tobago game, USA 60, Trinidad and Tobago 9.
60.
Forgive me, Trinidad and Tobago 60, the USA 9 at the end of the third quarter.
Yes, and again, you're watching the America's Men's Netball Championship. We apologize for any miscommunication made earlier in terms of the scores. So again, we verify that it's Trinidad and Tobago 60 and USA 9 points. Competing in this tournament, we have Antigua and Barbuda, England, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, the United States of America, and host country, St. Kitts and Nevis. It's quite interesting to see such a large disparity in terms of the scores at this point in time. You know, after the opening round, you know, last night we would have expected, well, 2 nights ago, we would have expected to see some closer encounters, but this seems to be expanding in terms of the difference between these goal differences.
Definitely, so far we've seen England. They've shot 77 goals versus the USA last night in Nevis. So they've scored the most goals so far and winning by the largest margin so far as well, 67 points. And on the flip side of that, England versus Jamaica on the first night, Jamaica defeating England 30-27, an extremely low scoring game by what we're seeing here, and the margin just a mere 3 points as well.
Yes, but it just goes to show you the competitiveness of those teams, you know, as they compete against each other to keep that margin very, very low.
Definitely, and President Dion French of the St. Kitts and Nevis Netball Association, he and his executive, they must be given high commendation, because this year is the second staging of this tournament, and for St. Kitts and Nevis, a population of some 53,000 people, total area of 104 square miles, to be holding the second edition that had to be very tremendous.
Yes, and to be moving the tournament also between both islands, between St. Kitts and Nevis, alternating the days, I think it's also commendable to ensure that spectators on both islands can witness this tournament. And we've now seen the start of the fourth quarter of this encounter, Trinidad and Tobago versus the USA. Trinidad and Tobago in possession of the ball right now in their shooting third, but have lost it to the USA. USA is seeking to work the ball down through the center third into their shooting third to their goal shooter. Keep working it around the center circle to try to get the goal shooter as close as possible to the ring, and he converts. So taking the USA now to 10 points, yes? So USA 10, Trinidad and Tobago 60. USA's center pass, center to wing attack to goal attack to wing attack to center. Center is seeking to find someone on the inside of the circle to be able to pass. Infringement called against the goalkeeper. Goal attack takes the ball, seeking to make a play. And contact there called against the goal defense into the goal shooter. Ooh. Goal shooter attempts and converts. USA now moves to 11 goals. Center pass to Trinidad and Tobago. An overpass takes the ball out of bounds for Trinidad and Tobago. A free pass into the USA. Goalkeeper takes it and is seeking to find his player. Finds his center contact there against the wing defense. Time call for the ball, having traveled so far away from the court, and we're now getting ready for the resumption of play.
60 Trinidad and Tobago versus the USA's 11.
Continuation of play here by the USA. The umpires are demonstrating that they have full control of this game, ensuring that the players stay at the marker when that infringement is called. Contact here on the inside of the shooting circle. Goal shooter takes it and converts. So another point there for the USA, taking them to 12 goals. USA center pass, center to wing defense to goal attack. Moving it around into the center third, and they're trying to get it away from the defense of the Trinidad and Tobago team, who has clamored around the players. But the whistle has gone, indicating that a defensive infringement has occurred, and it will be a free pass to the USA just at the top of the circle, and another change. Mr. Mills, it's just a continuous cycle of
the buttery hands.
The buttery hands. But into the center circle now for the USA. Goal shooter had it, pass to position himself a little bit better, closer to the circle. Ball is being passed around outside of the semicircle. USA in possession. Umpire's call. Infringement on the outside. And we await the positioning of the USA's goal attack, who will attempt passes to the goal shooter, who converts. It took a very long time for that shot to be scored. Center pass now to Trinidad and Tobago, who are up 62 points over USA's 13 points, and into the goal shooter for Trinidad and Tobago, who converts, taking them to 63 points.
Center pass to the USA. There is an infringement.
Pass out of court. We learned very early that catches win matches. So we are seeing some mishandling of the ball and it being forced out of bounds. In possession now is Trinidad and Tobago into the goal shoot. Goal shooter converts, taking them to 64 goals against USA's 13. Center pass now for Trinidad and Tobago. Quick pass into the goal shoot. Pass to the goal attack, who then converts. Good going there by Trinidad and Tobago to maintain their control of this game. You know, sometimes when we come up against the big names like the USAs and the Englands and the Jamaicans, we tend to buckle, but not this time.
But when I saw the fixtures, I wondered how come a game USA England was playing so early, not having seen any of the teams, judging the men's netball team by the standard of the females, world champions, etc., and knowing the USA, the amount of energies, resources, monies they have, and they pump into sports, I thought the men's team would have been at a much higher level. But that clearly was not the case, and is not the case tonight.
Well, obviously, we can see too that, you know, the sport is developing in all of the countries. So, you know, one would be fielding, once persons see that there's an opportunity for males to play netball, I'm sure you will have more and more, whether younger persons, persons who have experience in basketball, etc., coming forward wanting to challenge for these positions on the USA's team. USA has possession and it goes out of court, out of touch by Trinidad and Tobago. Obstruction is now called into the goal shooter. Contact, obstruction is called against Trinidad and Tobago. On the outside, seeking to find out what exactly is the call, but the players are jostling for position. It's quite a physical encounter, and persons are not holding possession of their balls at all at this point in time. And it's ball out of court. Trinidad and Tobago throwing to goal defense, goal defense to wing defense. Stepping call there, an infringement against Trinidad and Tobago. Free pass to USA. And they turn over the ball. Free pass to Trinidad and Tobago. Pass to wing attack to center as they move it down to their shooting third. Goal shooter into goal attack for Trinidad and Tobago, and goal attack misses. But the rebound is caught by the wing attack for Trinidad and Tobago, who now has an opportunity to pass, but there's an infringement, contact being called against the USA's center.
This is the first game I've seen in the Globe where we have two male umpires on duty.
Yes.
The other games I've seen male, female.
Yes.
And it shows that men are very much getting into the game, and it won't surprise me if we're seeing a full-fledged male netball competition.
Yes, indeed. I mean, this sport has grown tremendously over the years. Even when you look internationally, even at some of the Australian leagues, you see that quite a number of male umpires have been included as part of the officiating teams. So you do have a good mix of both female and male.
And that's one of the discussions. Persons are saying, of course it's their view, that men should not be playing football. The counter to that by some quarters, hold on,
Women
football,
should not be playing
netball,
Oh.
forgive me,
Okay.
because, and they're saying, well, football, a man's game, but however, women are playing that now. So too is basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So why not?
Why not? I mean, we are a gender-balanced world, and, you know, those stereotypes have long been put out of the window, where we're an equal race. We might not have the same power or what have you, but in terms of our abilities to participate in sport, equal opportunity should be provided to both genders to be able to bridge that parity, and that is important. And the score now, it's Trinidad and Tobago 70, United States of America 13, and another infringement there by Trinidad and Tobago. They're just not controlling the ball as well as they should be in making efficient passes. USA in possession, seeking to work down the court and ball goes out of court. I would suspect it would still be in possession of the USA once the ball is returned to play. Yes, Mr. Mills?
You mentioned gender parity, Gloria, and we have had the discussion on the international scene where men, they are changing, as was in the Olympics. There was a big issue with a man, a male from somewhere in Europe, who had changed, and he was competing in a female boxing match, and that game ended after 46 seconds because the lady received a box from the transgender, for want of a better expression, and she said that was the hardest blow she has ever gotten in her life, and that created some stir, and we've seen it in cricket as well.
Seen it in swimming, and there have been some restrictions on that because it is felt that once you're naturally born a male, depending on the type of sport, you gain an advantage based on your strength, based on your build, based on your ability,
Speed.
Yes, to generate speed. So
Power.
that person was not allowed to compete for the swimming championship for that reason. We've had tennis players who've also refused to play transgender persons as well. So at the end of the day, it's a determination by the associations as to what they will accept in trying to bridge that gap. If persons feel for whatever reason that is their nature, they're so inclined, then hey, sure, to each his own.
Indeed, and I subscribe to the fact that you are how you were born. You're born a male, you're a male. It's okay if you want to change. However, you'll compete in the male sections and not the female, notwithstanding that you have changed, as it were.
Indeed. And back to the game, we see now Trinidad and Tobago extending their lead even further, 74 goals to 13 over the United States of America.
So they've netted some 14 goals in the third quarter, while the USA, they've only converted 4.
Yes.
And the game, England versus Antigua and Barbuda, that has ended England 67, Antigua and Barbuda 24.
Trinidad and Tobago in possession, goal attack to goal shoot. Inside of the shooting circle, and goal shooter converts, taking Trinidad and Tobago to 75 goals to USA's 13 goals. Center pass now to the USA, center to goal attack. Contact being called. Oh, the ball being thrown over third. Trinidad and Tobago now in possession of the ball, center to goal attack. Goal attack into goal shoot. Back to goal shoot. Umpire. Goal attack converts for Trinidad and Tobago. As we've been commenting earlier, the game has been a little, for lack of a better word, sloppy in terms of the passes, Mr. Mills. We haven't seen very efficient passes. There's always some mistake or some error, some infringement, as the ball is moving down towards the shooting circle for both teams as the game has progressed. In possession now, and an interception there by the goalkeeper for Trinidad and Tobago. Ball has made its way all the way to the goal shoot, who now converts, taking the score. Trinidad and Tobago 77 to USA's 13. Trinidad and Tobago in possession and one more time. Contact being called inside of the shooting circle. Goal shooter to goal attack. Goal attack sets and misses, but regains the rebound and converts, taking them now to Trinidad and Tobago 78 in favor of USA 13. USA center pass, still in the center third. They're working their way, trying to find their player to get it out of the center third, but a stepping call there against their wing defense. Trinidad and Tobago move the ball quickly down to their shooting circle into their goal shoot. Goal shooter to goal attack. Who converts? Score now 79 Trinidad and Tobago to USA's 13. And we continue with the center to be taken by Trinidad and Tobago. Center to wing attack to goal attack. Goal attack positioning into goal shooter sets and misses. Out of bounds, throw into the USA.
And we've just seen a substitution by the USA. One wing attack leaving, another entering.
And another goal there scored by the goal shooter for Trinidad and Tobago, taking them now to 80 points, 80 goals in favor of USA's 13. Another interception on the part of Trinidad and Tobago. Easy, too easy into the shooting circle. Another goal, 81 points for Trinidad and Tobago to USA's 13 goals.
And it's all all Trinidad and Tobago.
Indeed. At this point of the game. Goal shooter into goal attack. Goal attack scores. You can feel the energy sort of diminish a bit in terms of as we wind down in the fourth quarter of this game.
Indeed. And the spectators, they are not as much involved.
And USA scores their 14th goal. Center pass to Trinidad and Tobago. Center to wing attack to goal attack into goal shoot. Contact call is called there, and the goal attack takes it and converts, taking Trinidad and Tobago to 83 points to USA's 14. And that's the time, end of the fourth quarter.
Ladies and
we
gentlemen,
see
that's the end of Court 2 game.
the final score between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States of America, being Trinidad and Tobago 82 points with the United States of America on 14 points. Wow, what a difference, Mr. Mills.
Coming up shortly.
What a difference in the game.
We'll be having St. Vincent and the Grenadines coming up against Grenada. And then Court 2, Jamaica coming up against St. Kitts Nevis.
So we thank you for joining us for that encounter between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States of America. The Trinidad and Tobago ending with 82 goals to the United States is 14 goals. Mr. Mills, any thoughts on this game before we switch over to the next game?
Well, the USA, they were actually praying and hoping for the final whistle, because it appears as if their energies had been drained coming on to the last 3, 4, 5 minutes, as it were. So no doubt they welcomed the final whistle with gratifying arms, as it were.
Yes, in our local parlance, we would say that's a beating.
Indeed.
Such a disparity in the scores, but again, as we started the broadcast, I looked at the youthfulness of the Trinidad and Tobago team as compared to the more mature-looking USA team, and indicated, well, perhaps maybe the good mix, but we had a little mix-up in the scores at the beginning, but we had it right in the end that it's the more youthful team that emerged the winner over the more experienced-looking United States of America.
Indeed, and well, I haven't done any research in terms of these teams who have been playing longer, as it were, but look, I gather that the English team, and they are the invited team, they are actually a professional team, I understand. And unlike here in St. Kitts and Nevis and the OECS, where we play for fun, in England, they actually have a professional netball league. and quite a few Jamaicans they are actually playing in that league, and we're yet to see some of our Kitishans playing there.
Yes.
I understand a few years ago, about 4, 5, 6 years ago, a young lady from one of the teams here had an opportunity, but she didn't accept it.
But this is what we need. You need to spread your wings further afield in order to develop your quality, develop your play, understand the strategies that are applied internationally so that you can bring them back home. At one point, our female team was ranked internationally, and this is so many moons ago that would have happened. What will it take for us to get back to that position? And it means exposure. You must be exposed to what is happening internationally in order for us to be able to compete at that level.
And that is one of the big debates we're having in our football, where quite a few of our national senior men's team and women as well, they're actually living and playing football outside in the USA, Canada, in Europe, and they're playing in professional leagues. And our local spectators, perhaps not grasping the concept of the energies, the experiences they would have from there mentally, physically, and otherwise, they would prefer to see all our local boys playing. But the question is, what do you want? To have all our local boys playing and perhaps an opportunity not to really win? Because when the nationals living abroad, they're playing. I am one of the persons who believe it enhances our chances of actually winning more games.
Of course, indeed. And again, just to recap, the final score in the game, Trinidad Tobago versus the USA. Trinidad Tobago 82 points, the USA 14 points. And again, we wish to thank our sponsors for making this tournament possible. First Federal Cooperative Credit Union, St. Kitts and Nevis National Bank, Island Water Sports, Cash Cab, Ministry of Sports St. Kitts, Ministry of Sports Nevis, Island Purified Water, COSCAB, the Bank of Nevis, Bonnie, Bank of Nevis International, Amory Bakery, and Inter-Caribbean Airlines. So we will be signing off from this game and getting ready for the next encounter, which will be St. Kitts and Nevis versus Jamaica here on Court 2.